We hosted a fixer earlier who has come up with a way in which all of us can start crowdsourcing these results from the polling
station.
Mariam, take it away.
Yes.
From that point on.
From that point on, the People's IEBC was this fixer's idea, and how to make sure that we can track our votes in real time, in tandem. We see this happen in much bigger democracies, right? Media houses, non-governmentals will all have counts, making just saying, okay, what are we getting? And in some very mature democracies, sometimes they'll even call results before the official electoral bodies. That's not where we are, though. We are trying to make sure that we track and see what is happening at each polling station, and that we have verified counts. So this fixer came up with a software called the People's IEBC that essentially does hivyo tu. Ni IEBC ya watu. Kenye mepostiwa hapo, una upload. After that, you tally. Mathematics, alafu, you move. Easy as that. He'll explain it a lot better. I am making it reductive. But his name is Daniel Miringa, and his software got some real-time stress testing yesterday. Good morning, Daniel.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. Happy to be here and happy to see you again.
It's good to have you back. As you know, we start with the quote of the day. Felaris will share it with you. You can say if it speaks to you and if you agree or disagree.
Okay.
Karibu sana fixer. The quote today is actually a West African proverb, and it reads, when the rhythm changes, the dance must also change. When the rhythm changes, the dance must also change. How does that speak to you?
How I interpret it is when the times change, it is important to also change with it as a human being. So being very aware of your environment and adjusting whatever variables you can adjust to fit that new environment in that ever-changing environment.
I quite like that.
Fantastic. Go with the times.
Go with the times.
Usibaki hapa kama watu wameenda
No.
Kalou.
Yes.
Kawakukana nuko Misri bado.
Huko Misri bado.
Watu walishafika Singapore.
Watu wako Singapore. Wewe bado uko Kimana.
Wewe bado uko Kimana. Hata watu walisahau Kimana ni wapi.
No, go with the times. Now, as you have this conversation, please go to your gadget, your device, and type in, open the browser and go to peoplesiebc.org. That's peoplesiebc.org. It'll take you to a homepage, which will give you, things you can register as an agent. For purposes of today's conversation, you'll come back there and register later.
Yeah.
But at the top, there's a tab there written All Kalou. Click on that tab. Now, here is the guy who has that tab. And we can also project that on the screen as well, Kevo, once we get that done. So, Daniel, this is something that you told us the last time, that you want for us to be able to also get the results from the polling station coming straight to a server that we are all contributing to. You did that yesterday. Okay? Let's start with how did you get the results from All Kalou yesterday?
Yes, we did. We were able to get 93 out of the 144 Form 35A, and we were able to, our models, our AI image processing models were able to pick those values, tally, and then publish to what is there on the tab.
So the result that is on the portal right now is out at 93 out of 144 polling stations. Of course, what was announced this morning was now the complete tally. So at some point, you got up to 93 out of 144. We were all following various ways of finding out what was happening. And that's why by, say, 9 p.m., it was clear that Sami Douglas Kamau Waweru had an unassailable lead.
Yes.
Your portal, out of 93 out of 144 polling stations, what does it tell us?
So our portal is in line with what is out there. So, for example, the leading candidate, Sami Douglas Waweru, has 85.7% of the votes, which is 26.3 thousand. Samuel Moshina has 3,894, which is 12.7. Wilson of Jubilee Party has 205. Stephen 82. Timothy 76, Edward 57, Edwin of PNU 38, Abdifata 37, and Rachel 7. So that's what we were able to tally from our submissions from our agents.
And that's out from the 93 that actually submitted.
From the 93 that submitted.
How did you get this 93?
So the 93, we actually had 142 to begin with. So we had 142 agents registered, but due to various conditions and various unexpected circumstances, 49 of them, which was the remaining 93 plus 49 is 142. They were not able to submit. Some of them were in the AC primary where your journalists were assaulted. And some just, things came up. They became occupied and were not able to submit. But yes, so yeah, it was our first election. It was our first election to count. And so it was a good experiment from my analysis. And we have learned a lot,
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
I'll start by saying well done.
Thank
I think
you.
I said this the last time you were here. This is an incredible platform, and the idea behind it is let's track this together. Also, getting 142 people to sign up, even if 42 of them, is it 42? How many?
49.
49 of them fell off along the way for one reason or the other. Getting 142 people to register to essentially be part of the people's IEBC and to go to a polling station and to commit that when that Form 35A is posted on that door, I will take a picture and upload it. That's a massive feat. So first of all, well done, Daniel. Let's talk about the process. And there's a lot of fixers who might not have watched the previous episode that when you were here. Walk us through how you are getting these votes. So if I am at a polling station in Rongai and I am a registered agent with the People's IEBC, first of all, actually, how do I become a registered agent? What's your requirement? And is it as long as I'm an active citizen? And Nana, how do I become a People's IEBC agent, quote unquote?
Okay. So, the process is very straightforward. So, when you visit our website, peoplesibc.org, you can be able to register as an agent. The details are pretty standard. So, just your name, your phone number, and the details of your polling station. So, that's from the county level all the way to the polling center.
So, your voter registration details, where you are registered as a voter.
It doesn't have to be, but whatever is accessible to and convenient to you.
Okay.
So we collect those details, and then behind that, once we have your details, we are able to just do a bit of a background check to just see if there's any if you're an honest and trustworthy person. So that's what we do in the back end, and then from there, what we actually did with this All Kalou one is we held training sessions with them. So it was online, and we just were able to walk them through our platform and how they can be able to submit. It is again a very simple process. So you just take a picture, as Erica said, you just take a picture of the form. Some of them may not post at the door. They're not pasted behind the door as required by law. But if you're able to just get it by any other means, you can also just submit. And once it's submitted, the verification is left to us on the other end. The verification, because we have the forms for the All Kalou, we're able to see what the standard form looks like. So there's the QR code, there's the polling station ID. So do those match the details? So it's a series of verification. Also checking if the image is a real image. It's not AI generated. It's not been altered. That's from the metadata of the image. So we do a bit of background check, and then from there we just extract the values, because AI can do this pretty well from whatever has been written. Extract the values, tally and populate, and just publish on our website. Yes.
Let me take you back a little bit, step by step.
Yeah.
How do you vet me? You said, I submit my name, my details for my polling station, polling center. How do you vet to know if I'm an honest and trustworthy citizen?
I don't know if I want to reveal that, so people cannot take advantage of that system. But it's just public information about you. Are there any
Tashfal.
have you been mentioned in anything? You know, so it's that because again we don't want someone who will take advantage of the system and probably make it unreliable.
Okay.
On the day. Yes.
Are you saying, Daniel, that if I was in Kalou yesterday and hadn't gone to the portal to register, I could not submit?
Unfortunately,
That
yes.
for me to be able to submit, I must first register and then go through a vetting process.
Yes, unfortunately, I remember the last time I was here, that was not the process, but we were able, we saw it fit to do that because it is a big risk when you just open it up to anyone on the day. There are so many people who may not have their interests served when we do this. So they may try to do that. So that was the reason why we chose to go the registration route and verification route.
Okay.
And I think there's the inconvenience where people who are not registered who may have access may not be able to submit. But again, I think it's a price worth paying.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you are inundated with registrants, how quickly do you vet? If people yesterday morning, or had you closed the registration by yesterday morning?
Yeah, once we reached the 142, which was actually a bit earlier, so it was, I think, 5 days to the election, on Monday or Sunday, and we just closed it we just dealt with people who still registering nationwide for 2027, but we stopped the Kalou one.
The Kalou one.
So, yeah.
Why?
Okay. I'm sure one of the lessons that you've learned is at least have some backups.
Yeah.
Because things will happen.
Yes.
So have a number that will be able to, and also for you to be able to compare. Because this guy, you may have vetted me and trusted me, but kumbe, mimi nilikuwa fisi kwa
The
ngozi ya
number of
kondoo.
agents would have to be. I'm stuck on the verification of data, given that what the IEBC does, the reason why they pin the results on a door is for transparency.
Yes.
What I'm interacting with on this platform just has the numbers, but doesn't have the IEBC sheet, the Form 35B, in terms of just transparency. You have this on your back end.
Yes.
If someone who's following the portal would want to actually then just verify, because we're very pedantic by nature, where you just want to see for yourself, is that something that could be included? Is it a possibility that you're looking at just in terms of transparency?
It is a possibility, and we're actually planning on, but it's just that we were not able to actually implement it for all Kalou. So we want all the pictures to be somewhere downloadable and viewable for our for the citizens and for people, just to, again, it's just transparency, increasing the transparency and just the overall trust in the process. Yeah.
And when, again, feeding this data, because you're working with AI to do the computation of numbers, are there any manual inputs? Because sometimes systems, the way they work is you'd require some manual interventions in the event where the software has glitches or whatever. How do those manual interventions look like? How frequent are they? Just in terms of making sure that the human element of the system is something that we're also very aware of.
So for this Kalou one, because it was an experiment and we wanted to test it to make sure it's able to handle the 2027 one. And in the 2027 one, know that we have 52,000 polling stations. So, manual for that would be quite difficult. So we want to really make sure stress test this AI image processing part. That's why we had to do it using the automated process. So manual was possible for all Kalou, of course, because it's 144, but we just left it for that. Of course, in the postmortem, we check if the quality was, if they were able to populate the correct numbers. But yeah, we totally and entirely used the image processing models to extrapolate. But manual, as I said, we don't want to rely so much on manual because if we put that and then it comes to 2027 and you're not able to do it,
Yeah.
then it might be a problem.
Because you see, you create, and the reason I bring in the manual aspect is when you're dealing with it at scale,
Yeah.
55,000, and the team that you're working with, again, just layering to Mariam's point of the process of vetting these people that are, part of your, on-ground team, the people feeding in the data into the system, is how the credibility, if at all there's going to be any manual inputs, and the just how accurate that data is, so that you don't have such a big margin of error between what the IEBC is putting out and what the people's IEBC is saying, because then therein would be a problem.
Credibility issue.
Yeah.
I was actually going to ask the margin of error
Yeah.
that you've allowed the platform in computing results.
So when the AI analyzes the image, because it has also confidence rates when it's analyzing. So the threshold we've put was 90% for the image.
Okay.
So as long as it's 90% confident, then that can be populated. If it's not, it's just not. If it's below that, because some handwritings may not be as
Legible.
It does not populate that. So that's part of
It rejects
the
that.
process.
So
Then
you said the margin of error is?
Then the 90%, if AI gives
90% confidence.
confidence.
If the AI is 90% confident about what it is pulling out of that image, then it can proceed to the next stage. And if it feels that I'm not up to 90% sure that I can read this,
Yeah.
then it does. Because it's about whether it can read or not.
Yeah.
But also it's beyond whether it can read or not. It's whether this is the actual, it reflects the actual form
Yes.
that's posted outside that classroom.
Yeah.
Whether does it look like the normal, like what you have told me, this is the form 13, what?
5.
Yeah. Does this look like what you have told me as you've given me the form 35 and told me compare anything that comes with this form, whether it meets the basic features of this form.
Exactly.
Then the next thing is compare whether it is coming from what I've told you is, have you geolocated as the source? Because somebody can send you an Kalou result from Kilifi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The metadata.
The metadata.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
metadata,
The
should be able
The
to tell you.
metadata has that.
Yeah.
So the metadata is going to make sure that this thing is, we're in Kalou, and this is coming from a region within Kalou. If it is coming from polling station X, then it is coming from close to polling station X.
Right.
So at all those things that it's just doing check, 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 check. By the time we're getting to 90%, it's 90% of very many things.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if it's just 90% of I can read,
Yeah.
You're right.
and then I can read 90% from Kimana. Mimi natuma tu results za Kalou. Next, natuma results za wapi.
Nikki change.
Change.
I wanted to go into outside the tech now, where the people come in. And yesterday, so like you said, 142 agents had registered, and they had said, I'm going to be at my polling station, I'm going to take that picture. Tell me about the challenges that the agents faced on ground. One, actually, let's start with where this sits in as far as our electoral laws are concerned. You answered it last time, but there's someone who is there thinking, mimi kama nani, me as who, nikichukua picha election result as whom.
And why should I?
And why
let's,
should I?
let's take a quick break and come back on that. It's 27 after 7. We are talking about this beautiful portal that has been developed by a young fixer who's here with us. Go to your browser and type peoplesiebc.org. That's peoplesiebc.org. At the top tab there, you'll see all Kalou. 93 out of 144 polling stations actually sent in their results onto these agents in those areas, and they more or less match what we have seen. You see now again, that margin was huge. It gives you confidence. If it was a low margin, we'd be questioning that. Daniel Miringa is a software developer and a fixer. He's our guest. We'll be back shortly.
Hello, Fixers. My name is Jeremiah Mowo, the host to Semezana Live, which is a platform for young people where we have conversations for change through intriguing topics and conversations as we aim to fix our country, Kenya. We host the spaces on Google Meet every fortnightly on Thursdays, and that's my contribution to us fixing the nation.
Thank you so much, Jeremiah. A fixer par excellence, as always, big part of the Tukokadi initiative. And of course, thank you so much for always reminding us what it means to fix the nation. One step at a time, one conversation at a time, one move at a time. Our number is 0769 590 762. That's 0769 590 762. Fanya kama Jeremiah amefanya. Take your phone. Take your phone out, take a video of yourself, tell us who you are, where you are, how you're fixing the nation, and we'll be more than happy to share in the next hour, ama on Monday. Easy as that.
Right. Fixers online, and thank you very much for joining us. Our live stream was down, but now we're back.
We're back.
We never left. Jenga Njogu says, I'm registered to the People's IEBC. I believe my duty will be to submit as much Form 34As as possible in my constituency and leave for his system to verify my manenos. My Nduthi will be full tank. I execute my civic duty. All the forms. And I say, atakuwa ready. But then he goes on to say, hypothetically, let's say Daniel is abducted on the eve of the election. Astaghfirullah. Will the system work?
Astaghfirullah.
Ama tutakuwa tunatuma results to bila outcome? Is the system dependent on Daniel sitting behind it, or is the system dependent on a whole team?
It's a team. Yeah. So even if God forbid they abduct me,
Or you fell sick?
or I fall sick, or I'm not available, it will still continue regardless.
Okay.
Yeah.
Divine Flow is asking whether you have patented the software and if you have any concerns on selling it to the IEBC in case they make him an offer, because you never know who'll want to pretend wako interested, kwa hii mambo. We asked you that last time.
Yeah.
How much for this thing?
There is no price for the People's IEBC. About patenting, it's a work in progress. So we started the process. It's still in the works, but we are getting there.
Okay.
And how secure is it against attacks?
It is secure. We tried our best to secure it. Actually, the day before Kalou, 15th, actually 16th, the night of Kalou, we got an attack which it's called the denial of service. Denial of service is an attack that someone just floods your system, your servers and your database with requests. So they're not even trying to get in. They're just flooding, so that legit people who are submitting, it has overwhelmed the resources of the server, so people cannot actually do it. But luckily, we were able to arrest that early, and our agents were able to submit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question on the.
There's a question that Mariam had asked before the break, right?
Oh, yes.
The people who are now the agents,
Yeah.
they are moving about. You had 142 register, and then 93 were able to submit results. What were they going through qua ground to get these results? What were the challenges? And most importantly, where does this fall legally as a citizen going to take pictures of kwa mlango ya IEBC?
So I'll start with the second
one.
question. It is a legal process, and of course the freedom of expression, and that the Constitution gives its citizens. However, there's a line which we are not allowed to cross by the Constitution, which is to announce the winner. We are given the mandate to the word that is allowed is just projections. So you're just projecting the winner, even if you have 99% of the submissions. So announcing and saying this is the president-elect, this is the MP-elect is not allowed per the Constitution. And we are a law-abiding institution, so we are planning on we are looking forward to maintaining that and not
Messing with
the law.
But one B of that question before you answer the one on the second bit, among the challenges. So these agents, they don't need to report to you at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. on voting day, 3 p.m. on voting day. They don't. It's after 5 p.m. that they become active.
Yeah.
Because that's when now voting starts and counting starts. So let's say counting takes about, in some polling stations, if they are small, it's about 30 minutes. This exercise is done. So by 6 p.m., the result is already being displayed. Do they have access to the school at 6 p.m.?
Yeah, that was a big question before we did this experiment. We were wondering, is it possible for us, a normal citizen, to, access the polling station? Because, there is accreditation. IEBC needs to verify observers. It's not just anyone who can get in. And what we were planning was, because the thing is pasted behind the door, and that's not within the bounds of the polling station. So our goal was to have them get that. But now, yesterday, what we learned is before the process is finished, it's very difficult to...
You can't enter.
You cannot actually, even around the classroom, not even within. So it's very difficult. So actually, that made our results get a bit late. So we had to wait for the process to finish so that they can again get access to the forms in one way or another. So it's not possible to get inside, but of course we have talks with people who have been accredited, observers like ILOG and another foundation called Uamuzi. They are IEBC accredited. So possibly in 2027 we'll have access to the polling station. But at the moment, yesterday, what we worked with was just after the process, just getting the forms from people.
I'll get back onto that thread of then how do you quickly gain access? Because yes, like you've said, it's a secure zone, and we shouldn't be allowing everybody. That will just be compromising the integrity of the counting process. So only the people who are accredited will be there. And until the presiding officer and his officers leave to start heading towards the returning officer, this area will still be a no-go zone. So we'll come back into that. Part B of the question.
Yeah, the challenges that your agents faced yesterday, now, because we're threading through, part of it is access, and of course, it's either that, actually we spoke about getting accreditation last time, and partnering with, whether it's someone else like ILOG and finding media houses, a way to get accreditation. Now, the other thing is on ground. What were the things that you learned yesterday from having 93 people trying to get results, actually 142 people hopefully trying to get results and to post them onto the website?
So one is, of course, what you've mentioned, not being able to get the results on time until after the process has been finished. The other one was, of course, the security risk, which also your journalist experienced. There was a problem in a registration center called AC Primary and Mombi Primary. So our agents there, again, were not, there were police.
What happened specifically in AC and Mombi Primary?
So what happened there was a police intervention because there were masked goons who came and did whatever they did. So they needed to disperse people, so people were not allowed except, of course, the IEBC officials and the political agents accredited by the IEBC. So our agents, because of course they are not part of that group, were denied access, and every other citizen. So for those who are among, actually, I think a third of the people who did not submit, so a third of the 49 were not able to get access because of that, or at least they told us so. And the others, as you mentioned, is just being occupied. Something just comes up because we are not, it's a voluntary process. It's not legally a legal deliverable that you need to deliver. So some of them just got occupied, and what we learned from that, what Eric has mentioned, is we need backup agents. We need as many agents as we can to just cover for such incidents, and that's one of the things we've learned from this dry run.
I quite like that. Okay.
This just threads on what Eric and Mariam are talking about, which is the speed of transmission, which ties to the capacity of the system to process multiple results that are streaming in. So yesterday, Kalou, you had 144 polling stations. Of course, not each submitting at the same time.
Yeah.
But I want to blow this at scale. How fast is the system in terms of, processing and updating the numbers that we see here? Because I'm seeing a picture of 2027 where we have media counts, we have IEBC counts, and then we have the people's IEBC counts. And a lot of times there's usually that time where things almost just like these things are now moving.
And then everyone has a different number.
And everyone has a different number.
All of you have 73 out of 93 out of 144.
Yeah.
But they're different. They're not the same 93.
Yeah.
So the numbers will not look the same.
Yeah.
You're saying you're 93 and your result is 27. You're 93 and your result is 28. 93
You have 93 and this is that. And you see now the people, given that we've already branded it, the people's IEBC, there is, the level of public trust. People are like, see, we don't trust IEBC, we don't trust what these media houses are saying, blah, we are trusting you. Paint us a picture of how you're going to manage that.
So first of all, our priority is not to be the first ones to transmit the results. That's not what the goal is. The goal is to paint a clear picture of what's happening on the ground. So if that takes, I don't know, whatever amount of days, that's fine with us. Because if we try to get it the first people to get the results, then it will bring a lot of issues. We want to, I'll go back to the objective of the People's IBC, which is to kill the narrative of kitaibiwa anyway, why am I voting? That was the goal we set out to achieve. We want people to believe that actually the process can be trustworthy, by of course providing a check and balance for someone who may try to manipulate IBC numbers. Or People's IBC has its tally, and people can see it and people can follow it. So from that, we need to get the actual numbers, and we need to have proof that it's, which are the pictures that this is what is happening on the ground. So being fast is good because of course, whoever is fast somehow sets the narrative of who is winning. But again, we don't want to do that. Because the way the observers do it is they do statistical projections. So because of course the narrative is something important and they need to set the tone of who is winning. But that's something we can do, the statistical projections. But at the moment we just want to get the real forms. Let's just have the real forms. If they take whatever amount of time, let's do it and present it when it's due.
I like that. I think the thing I needed answered was just, it's not the speed at which we arrive at a number or declaration of a winner. It might be slow, but we want to be as accurate as possible. Whether or not it's running at the same pace as IEBC and the media houses, that this is not trying to, you're not trying to outpace each other. I quite like that.
Sorry, I just wanted to come back into that thread of getting trustworthy agents, because what you said, and I now see the sense, is that you want people to register as agents, and then you want to have some level of confidence that the people who are posting are credible. On the other hand, you can classify agents. You can classify this is category A agent, category B agent, category C agent. It's the people's IEBC. Let the people submit, okay? And then you can say, among these people, there are those that I know we have actually properly pre-vetted and have a partnership with, and these have been vetted by another institution on my behalf. For example, journalists. The Media Council of Kenya has accredited this. The IEBC itself has accredited this person to be in this polling station. Electoral observer. There's another body altogether that has dealt with identifying these electoral observers. Those ones are there. Those could be category A. Category B can be political party agents. You see, now those ones, they are B because they could be honest or they could choose to be dishonest. But they are agents. They are present and they have access to the result at that point. And then category C is the people who will now go to AC primary school today and find the results still pinned there, and they can still take. And so if you have A, B, C all matching, then you can say, without a shadow of doubt, this is the result in this particular polling station, you know?
Yeah.
And having the A's and the B's also elevates the trustworthiness of the platform. That the result that we are actually seeing here is a result that has very many ways in which we can verify the credibility of the people who have submitted.
Yeah, that categorization is actually a very good idea. We'll actually implement that. It's because it's the people's, and you need not to lock people from, submitting. So yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you.
People are
Eric.
people.
Yeah. Second
Second bit is what we talked about now, the partnerships. Going beyond this and then going in partnerships. It's a people's IEBC, and there are very many civic entities. And I think somebody has actually come here and said there are very many civic entities that are participating in this election, and their main objective is just to safeguard the citizens' right to participate in an election. So have you at any point during the development, from the last time that you came here and thereafter, have you at any point held meetings seeking to partner with some of these civic entities? Like I said, ELOG, the IEBC itself, even just for them to acknowledge that there's a people's IEBC, and maybe they might find a way of saying, give me the people who you'd like me to accredit for you.
Yeah, we are in talks with two institutions, which is ELOG and another foundation called Uamuzi Foundation. They're both IEBC accredited. So those are conversations in the works, nothing yet determined. The goal for the People's IEBC is just to gain access of the polling station and be able to submit the results as soon and as accurately as possible. But yeah, if that is we are able to do that, and the partnerships are fruitful, and we're able to get inside the polling stations, well and good. But if we are not, again, as I said, we just get the forms eventually because they remain there, even if it takes a day or two. It's just to ensure what the IBC has said as the final result matches the final result, which Maina Kiai said is the final at the polling station.
The money question comes next, as always. You know, with these people watching, nani anafund huyu kijana? Ni so and so, ni so and so. How is the People's IEBC funded?
So the People's IEBC is funded by individuals, donations, citizens, citizens within, citizens in the diaspora. Citizens in the diaspora actually have been the ones who have really held us down. But yes, so that's where we get our money, and of course personal finances from myself and the team. So that's where we get our money. We don't have any other sponsors or donors who want their interests fulfilled or anything like that, and we want to keep it that way just for the transparency bit. We actually have a donation page that lists all our people. It's not active now, but we are looking to list everyone who has donated your 50 bob, your 20 bob. Just for transparency, because whoever founds you.
Wait, will you list with detail, or is it what is it called? Not randomized data. What do you call it when you read anonymized data?
When someone is donating, they can choose whether to be publicly displayed or anonymous. So that's what we are working towards.
Okay.
What did you rather, Mariam?
Anonymized, because unless I have, like you said, unless I have explicitly consented to then having my data shared, right? So if I say it's okay, you can publish that I donated 50 bob, 5,000 bob, that's okay. If it's not expressed, then you have to anonymize my data. That follows our data protection laws as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can the platform say that to accept to donate, you're also accepting to go public with it?
Ooh.
The reason I'm asking that is because if you get to a level where 60% of the donors are these anonymous donors, then we start asking the question you asked. Who's this? Who's giving money?
Who's bankrolling it?
Tunajua ni nani anonymous.
But anonymized data is not, it's like your number is 0712 ***678.
So that's redacted.
Yeah.
But still. So we are not putting a name. You're saying MB of 07 and
Yes,
XXX.
Yes.
We can play that game. How if it gets to a point where a majority are like that, so you have and a question of credibility starts emerging. People can just go and start saying, this anonymized. It's one person.
Yeah.
We were told that about you who is buying Kenya Pipeline shares from Uganda. Remember there was a whole publication.
Yeah.
Tunajua nani ananunua kama Uganda. Tunajua. And just a rumor, it starts like that.
Yeah.
It kills the credibility of an otherwise very good platform.
Very good platform.
So it's just saying, if we'd like you to donate, and please, if you'd like to donate, allow us to give. You can now say, I'll put your name without your number.
I don't know. I think
Or
that's something we need to think about. It's a bridge we'll cross when we get there. When we get many donations that are questionable.
There'll be entities that come and, a certain entity comes in and they want to donate.
Yeah.
Eric Latif Foundation wants to put in 5 million shillings.
Kusaidia vijana. And kwanza right now there's a lot of money floating around in the name of, just empowerment or whatever it is we want to brand it as. I want to throw a question to all of you on the legality of any, case scenario, an election has been held. So the people's IEBC numbers look like this. And, whatever is coming from the IEBC, which is the legal authority that is supposed to give us numbers, is saying this. Is it possible to present the data and information on the people's IEBC as legally, as evidence of any kind? Should I be pursuing any kind of legal matter when it comes to, how the numbers are not marrying, the math is not mathing, and therefore I have this, and I deem it to be true and not what the IEBC is giving me. Can I present this in court as evidence?
I think, and this is just my seeing how petitions have been conducted previously. When you are going to petition against a result announced by the IEBC, the first respondent is the IEBC, right? The official record is the IEBC. So it's either you're going to say, this is the result that was announced by the IEBC, and I believe that there was manipulation of the numbers. Okay? Now, one of your prayers there will be, I'd like the court to order a recount of the votes.
Right.
Or a review of the process of the result leaving polling station A to returning to tallying station.
The tallying center.
Right? The tallying center. Right? So then that, and you're using this as, this has given you fodder to make you think, there should be a recount.
Yeah.
You may not necessarily present the people's IEBC information.
Okay.
Because, Miringa is not giving you the form that came and all.
True.
But you have grounds to ask for
A recount.
A recount. Okay.
So it gives you I think the confidence.
Just the confidence.
Go and please court, please, let's do this. You can even say, my agents, from that, you can also now go and argue, my agents, this is the result that my agent signed on.
Yeah.
This is the reform that my agent signed on. And the results here do not tell you what my agents gave me. So there's a whole discrepancy.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Okay. That answers my question.
Yeah, I think maybe over time, this platform becomes such a credible source that even the courts know, I may not admit this, but I will take judicial notice of the fact that there is a method. Because they can't go and say, NTV walisema results yangu ni easy.
Therefore you use it.
Easy. I can't use it.
You can't.
It'll be T for tricky.
Yeah.
We're about to just go on a short break, but there was a question on you essentially not even working with, but partnering with other people, and I know Eric has taken to that, but someone is asking how the system will know that you've uploaded the right form. Even two-term can upload. We've talked about that process, verifying the metadata, looking at what an IEBC form should look like versus what it doesn't. My question was, is there a point where there's not coordination, but a sort of, kusaidiana na IEBC, where they tell you, this is what our form looks like.
Yep.
And you're like, okay, this is what I have.
Yep.
Cool. They kind of look the same. Or is it just using history?
At the moment, it's history. It would be good if we have a proper standard form.
Hence the partnership
Yes.
Yes.
with the IEBC, right?
Yeah, you're right. So, yeah, at the moment, it's just comparing with the standard form that we've, of course, received last night.
Okay.
So that's what we'll be using 2027.
Okay.
We're taking a break, but I think also ahead of the election, the IEBC comes out to say this is how our ballot looks like. This is how the result forms look like, right? So that even the agents know. Presiding officers kuja na vitu zake hapo anatuambia to sign, you know.
Oh, okay.
So there must be that, and that's why partnerships with Kina Ilog and even the IEBC, them recognizing you would come in. Let's take a break and come back. Maybe after this break, you can take us to a bit of the back end. Show us the form that you are using for All Kalou as the mother form and the forms that you received from your agents, and let's see whether they look like
Okay.
that. And maybe also we can remove and send and see you verifying and how long it's taking to verify.
Maybe.
Okay, maybe. Maybe. Fixer Daniel Miringa of the People's IEBC is our guest. Just go to peoplesiebc.org. He's developed this platform where all of us can crowdsource and see the results that are coming out of each polling station. That's a classroom that's been posted on the classroom, and sending it to this portal so that we can all see this is actually the actual result. We don't have as we are looking at the IEBC and the political parties and everybody who's announcing their own results, we, the people, are also announcing our result. It's 8 a.m. We'll be back with him shortly. The People's IEBC.org. Have you logged on to that one? The People's IEBC.org. So this is a platform developed by Daniel Miringa, who's a fixer and an active citizen. And he said, one of the things that we've been seeing with our elections is people questioning the credibility and people starting to doubt that the elections being announced by the electoral management body are the actual results that were seen. One of the things that our law says that a polling station is the beginning and the end of the vote. You go in there, you cast your ballot, it shall be counted in that polling station, and the result in that polling station shall be final. All right? That's it. There's no way we are going. So if we can get the result from that polling station, us as citizens, and verify for ourselves, then it increases the people's confidence in the electoral process. And it decreases the pressure on confidence and all on the electoral management body, the IEBC. It also then brings in all these other people who are involved in the electoral process, including observers, civic entities, the media, and all, to a platform where we are all talking about the same thing. Not everybody else talking about their own different thing. And so Daniel is here and he's been taking us through what they did in Kalou. This was the first time that they were stress testing this. Before the election, he had asked people, please, can you register to be an agent for the People's IEBC, and you'll send us results. 142 people from all Kalou had done so. But for one reason or another, 93 only were able to submit their results. The others, because of the violence that was witnessed, because of denied access into the polling center and station and so on, were not able to. But the 93 sent a result. The system was able to verify. The system was able to give us a result. And what we are seeing from the system's result and what the IEBC has announced, they match. Because the percentages are matching. The percentage of the winner and the second place and the others are matching what the IEBC did. So we are on to a good start. Now, save for the various, small hiccups here and there, including how do you amplify this across the country? How are you able to get all these results coming in at the same time from 46,000 polling stations, for 6 different elections? Are you going to restrict this just to the presidential, or are you going to use this for civic, MP, governor, woman rep, senator, president, all 6? If it's all 6, you're talking about 46 results per polling center times 6. No, 6 results per polling station times 46,000 polling stations. Can this system handle?
Yeah, it is a debate we're actually having with my team when we were planning for this. But I'm leaning towards just focusing on one because 46,000 times 6, actually it's not 46, it's supposed to be 452 once they are adjusted.
Yeah.
But that's a lot for whatever resources we have. But if we're able to manage, so if we're able to build up capacity to manage that, why not? But at the moment, I'm leaning towards just focusing on the presidential, so that again we don't spread ourselves too thin and we don't deliver anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just still focusing on that. So you'd be having, if best case scenario, if we are following full 6Ps across all counties and the polling stations, we're looking at around 312,000 entries, and now multiply that by the number of candidates that would be running for each of those seats. That's a lot. But we're calling this the People's IEBC. But again, just a very good reason in there to just focus it on the presidency. But the people are represented at different levels,
Yeah, right.
correct?
Yeah.
And the consideration then to be made here is that much as, yes, there's interest at presidential level, there's still very big interest in terms of the representation.
You're right.
That for the term that we're looking at, people have been let down by Parliament, and they want to know who's the member of Parliament that we're bringing in. Are we actually looking, where's the change? And where are we agitating and pushing for that change? So this is just to, what is it called? To encourage us to maybe try and build capacity for true representation of the people, and not just at presidential level, because at that top level, fine. No problem, but we have bigger problems in Parliament.
With MCAs even.
With MCAs as well.
I was going to say, actually, my next question was going to build into that. I was like, okay, this is the People's IEBC. Is it the People's Code? We talked about whether or not this is open source last time. And is there the possibility of having, do I call them microsites or offshoots of the same thing to allow us to be able to then build a capacity? Because you're right, as you're resourced right now, it would be a little bit crazy to say, hey, I need 300,000 results from you. You know, you're not the IEBC.
Yeah.
But if the source is open code and other people can, you know,
Develop
develop
and
microsites, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I actually encourage that. I actually encourage people to just replicate what you're doing and do it for their respective regions. But again, there's caution there so that people do not, tarnish the transparency-based brand that we are trying to build. So yeah, if we're able to do that, because again, the goal is MP might actually be more important for the regular citizen than your president. So there is that concern. And again, I encourage anyone who may be watching here and is thinking about, and is actually thinking about trying to do this for their specific region, register as an agent. Of course, first register as an agent, and then contact me. The details are also on the website, so you can also send me an email, and then we can figure out if it's something that can be done, because the code is, as we said, open source, but of course there's some things we've put behind the curtain.
Trade secrets.
Yeah, so that's what needs to be shared with someone who wants to do that for their particular regions. But yeah,
I see the sense for opening it up, but I think I am erring more on the side of build credibility, then scale. Build credibility, then scale, right? What is the biggest issue when it comes to election results at present? It's the presidential. And that brings, I always say, we don't have a problem with the IEBC. It is a few people who have a problem with not the IEBC, but with the process. And because they'd like to compromise the process, they want to pick on the IEBC and paint the IEBC in a way that we feel like they want us to feel that the IEBC is wrong. Okay? Did you see Ashosho queuing in Kalou yesterday?
Yeah.
She was told, IEBC wamesema, we are going to elect a new MP to replace Kiaraho, who died. You know Kiaraho died? Yes. And we are going to elect somebody else on this day. Okay. She did not question why that day. She had no issue. She was told, you're going to vote in that school, primary school. You know the school? I know the school. Which day, what time, what do I need? Come with your ID. Fine. She went with her ID, presented, did her finger. She was told, "Here is your form." She went, she
Expecting
marked
no
it,
special treatment, by the way.
Yeah.
I'll pick a liney like
Marked.
everybody else. Yeah.
went home. Today she's told Sam Wawero has won. She's like, okay, even if she did not vote for him, she is like, Wawero won. Fine. Maybe she voted for any of the other 8 candidates, but she's okay with it.
Yeah.
On 290 parliamentary elections, only a very small number actually feel like they want to dispute it. True. Our public issues are not on the MCA election. You're told MCA so-and-so won, we are okay. MP so-and-so is the one who won, fine. Okay. Governor is also, it's okay. President is okay. President is not okay. Because William Ruto, Rigathi Gachagua, Kithure Kindiki, the late Raila Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta, Martha Karua, Martha Karua, I've just said, Eugene Omalo, those guys, those ones, have a problem with the process. And they create this impression that we have a problem with the process. We don't. We don't. We go and vote 6 other people, 5 other people. Why do you think we'd have a problem with this one? Anyway, so right now, be that as it may, people have an issue with the presidential. So focus on the presidential.
Okay.
Right? Let's prove that we're okay.
Yeah.
We go, we elect. Okay? Let's prove that when the result has been announced at classroom B in X-Polling primary school, that result is what is final.
Very true.
And then build on that. After that, then we can now start saying, I want to see how my vote for the MCA looks like.
Yeah.
Hey, we shall get there. Start with this first one.
Okay.
It's the main one. It's the main issue where, these things come up. Fungua Sava. It's the presidential one. Fanya hiyo.
Yeah.
Let's build a confidence on it.
Okay. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
But again, the truth deficit is there with the with the IEBC. It doesn't matter if they do a good job. That's beyond us. But the people don't trust it as much as they trust some other institutions, and that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to encourage people that this process is honest and fair. Please go participate in it. Yeah.
There's a lot of tech knowledge that's just floating around this country. Sometimes I feel like Silicon Savannah for real, but sometimes the savannah is a bit dry. When you think of other ways we can be using tech, and I'll come back to the nitty-gritties of when we go into 2027 a bit later, but right now, what other ways can we be using tech in the build-up to 2027 to enhance credibility, like you've said, voter confidence, confidence in the IEBC, and to just have an overall, wonderful process and be like, wow, that was a nice election.
It is actually at the center of what we are trying to do, because we are trying to register a foundation behind the People's IEBC, and what we are trying to do is just to create an environment where tech people can come and solve our problems, our democracy problems, our civic problems using technology, because there's a big opportunity there. One of the projects we're actually doing is a corruption mapping thing, where any public information regarding corruption assets, it's just to increase awareness of the matter. Okay. It's mapped in a map, so you can see, hapa mbele ya kwangu kuna shamba iko na
Scandal.
So I'm just being funny, but what if AI is trying to map corruption, but then the AI also has access to Google Maps and Earth satellites, and then it zooms and it says this is a corruption-free zone, and the AI is now confused. It's like, what do you mean there was corruption at a corruption-free zone? How is this? And then I just crashed it. No, but this is just me being silly. The reason actually I was asking you about the ways in which we can use tech is because sometimes we build against human fallibility, right? So, and we see a lot of human fallibility in the way our elections are conducted and So that's why I wanted to know. And then I wanted to know, how do we safeguard against human fallibility even as we go into the world of tech? Because tech is sometimes code is only as good as how it was written. You know, if you have biases, you can write those biases into your code.
Exactly.
Then how do we protect against, our humanness when using tech?
That's a big, it's a big concern actually, as even AI scales in the way it's scaling. We are probably scaling our biases. So I think that's where open source, open source, and just making sure you have so many points of different people checking what you're doing and getting feedback from so many people. And that's actually a very critical step in the development of tech products. What we are doing, we actually onboarded several tech people to just again check if we are coding in our biases inside the system. But yes,
the ethics of coding. Actually, I was is there, because right now there's an AI bill, right? And all of these checks and balances that everyone is trying to come up with, which is, and also the speed at which technology is going, is that we have, yes, a bill and laws that are being set, but are they running in tandem with the developments in tech? And something such as this, where does it sit within the framework of what is being proposed? And is there a chance that, government will come in and say, no, this is... it goes against the provisions of the law that we've put in place. Just case for example, thinking out loud, and things that we keep seeing, whether it's through the lady Rose that was arrested last year, and all of these very innovative ideas that are coming from young Kenyans, but again, we are shining light where darkness has been sitting for the longest time, and that makes people very uncomfortable. It was just a comment.
Just a comment.
Yeah.
There's a comment by Njenga Njogu who says, I'll agree to disagree on the contest of presidential election. Same as MP's election ends at constituency, let's make all constituencies first announce their presidential results before declaring MPs, because IEBC, when they delay presidential results, then they contribute to our doubt that figures are being cooked. Njenga, actually, the first result, the first ballot box to be opened after 5 p.m. is the presidential one. All right? And then those results are transmitted to the tallying center at the constituency.
Yeah.
The first tally and result to be announced at the constituency is the presidential. So, indeed, the returning officer at the constituency usually announces the presidential result after tallying from all the polling stations in the constituency. And that's where the Form 34 starts now, the journey. That's the A.
Form 34
the B.
Huh?
The B. The A's are the polling stations.
The polling stations.
That's the B. That B is announced by the returning officer, and the agents sign. And then it starts its journey towards entering into the server and coming by bus to Bomas. But it's announced at the
Let me ask, guys, every time when we hear ballot boxes were stuffed, where are they usually stuffed? At what stage?
At the stage, so I'll give you the history of what used to happen before this whole issue of count where you voted.
Yes.
Kitambo, it used to be, you come and vote in classroom A, B, C, D in Kimana Primary School. When we close, don't open. Take all those. Take them to Oloitoktok DEB, which is the constituency area. All and so from Kimana, from Ilasit, from wherever, all of them are coming. Na Land Rover, police, chief, police, DO. On the way. Yes. Okay. So that's what used to happen. So on the way there, you find that the thing has been opened, things have been removed, and it has been resealed. So by the time it's landing there, when we are counting, we are counting not the result that was
At the
Not what
polling
people-
This polling station had 500 registered voters, but we have 523 votes.
Yes. And 513 are for this candidate. So this is what used to happen.
Yeah.
So that's why the ballot stuffing started happening. Now we said, the law says, no, you don't move, don't get that box out until we have counted. And when it's moving out, you count, you announce the result, you sign the form, you put the form back in the box, you seal in the presence of all the agents. Okay? So then now it moves. The modern day staffing allegations come in, you see, when there's all this hulabaloo at the polling station. Oh, goons have come.
Sorry, I was clearing my throat, sorry.
Watu wanapigwa makofi, nini. So when people are being pigwa makofi and so on and so forth, sanduki inatoka. Peace returns. Tuendelee, let's now count.
Okay.
So that's where now the ukora is said to happen at that particular
At the
point
polling station.
before we start counting.
Okay.
Panatokea vurumai, rapsha,
Vurugu.
hali ya mshike, hali ya sintofahamu. Kila mtu kiguu na njia. Then by the time kiguu comes back to njia,
Yep.
things have happened.
A lot of Segemnegem has
Segem
happened.
neges.
Let's take a short break. When we come back, actually, I want to get Daniel's thoughts on blockchain technology for elections. That was my other fix. Also, if Bridget's is still on ground, we can listen in, because what happened yesterday was incredibly worrying. And as much as we've seen, for example, IEBC's results tallying with what happened with what is on the people's IEBC, there's that question of, in a closely, hotly contested election, like you asked, Eric, kutendaje. Let's take a very short break. When we come back, we'll continue that conversation. Hashtag is Fixing the Nation and TV. Thank you so much, Fixer Jeremiah. These conversations you're having online and in person are a big part of Fixing the Nation. And of course, you're also a big proponent of Tuko Kadi, making sure that young people are registered as voters going into 2027. We'll be also speaking about another Tuko Kadi, what would I call them, founder? Yes, pusher. What has to do the correct title? But Alan Zademba will be speaking about his arrest that happened yesterday in Kalou. He's being held for, I think, filming without a pass. We'll
Accreditation.
Accreditation. We'll listen to his lawyer. Her name is Melvin, and we'll be calling her in just a little bit to understand what exactly happened yesterday. Why was Alan's arrested? Where is he? Is he being arraigned in court? What's he being charged with? And all those details. But for now, we continue with our conversation with Daniel Miringa, software developer, People's IEBC, and fixer.
As we continue that, there are very many fixers who are just commenting generally about Kalou and what happened in Kalou yesterday, but also commenting on the conversation that we're having with Fixer Miringa. Kalou showed that we can have results of constituencies by 4 a.m. Let it be the presidents for presidential presiding MPs. Oh, Jenga, yeah, actually, that one, the presidential result usually is much earlier. Bibi Usuni in Bangladesh, at the time, the register had 80 million voters, and the system then worked well. Results were posted outside the poll station, and every party agent and voters were able to view. 80 million voters. We are talking about 25. So,
Hakuna shida.
BBC inasema hongera to the young man who's trying to fix the nation the best way he knows how, using his skill. Mfano huo. Vijana. Mfano huo. Charles Opigal, emphatic win for DCP. Murima is gone. This marks the funeral of UDA and Jubilee parties on Murima. Benjamin, in Bungoma, someone barricaded polling stations with goons and bringing ballot boxes already stuffed.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've seen this kind of,
Michezo
ya town happening. Right? Edwin says, election is a global agenda to effect regime change. Elections worldwide are never digital. It's a hybrid system. The real announcement is purely manual. Mudomo ndio inatangaza election results. Divine Flow is impressed by you, Daniel. Says, for a techie, Daniel is very eloquent and expresses himself very well. We're understanding his politically correct answers. Please ask him if he's looking for sponsors to build capacity by 2027. He has already said so. And if you go to the portal, you can actually find ways in which you can partner and support this
donate.
particular initiative and donate. On X, Ndongo Wainaina says, lessons from Kalou. Number 1, voters are not commodities to be bought. Old politics is dead. 2, democracy is not an auction. It's the voice and the dignity of the people. And 3, brutal force is hollow. People defeat rigging plots with numbers and vigilance at polling station. Right? Lessons from Kalou. All right.
All right. Just before we get back in conversation with Daniel, like we said, we wanted to update and see what happened yesterday with Tukokadi founder Alan Zademba and his arrest. And we have his lawyer, Melvin Togo, on the line with us. Good morning, Melvin.
Good morning, Mariam, and good morning, everyone at the
Melvin, good morning.
destination. Good morning, Mariam.
How are you?
I am well. Yourself?
Very well. I'm in studio, of course, with Eric and Felaris and our fixer, Daniel. Just please tell us what happened yesterday in Kalou and how Alans ended up being arrested.
So Alan was there following the Tukokadi initiative, which he had said that, he'll follow through to see how the youth are being engaged in the election process and whether the people they registered are actually turning up to vote. And that is why he went there on those grounds. So on getting there at around 8:30, Alan was, taking pictures and just being there as a normal Kenyan, not engaging in anything that you'd say is a malpractice. Then an officer came to him and asked whether he was a journalist, and he said, no, he's not a journalist. He's just there to see what's happening. And they did not tell him to stop. Then a few minutes later, around 15 minutes later, a VW, it must have been a VW, a Volkswagen pulls up with 5 men, and they bundle him and take him away. So they take him and from the brief conversation I had with him, they had said that they're PCI officers. They took him to Kalou police station and had him there. So he's been staying there since yesterday around 9 a.m. until today. Last evening, they said they would arraign him before Kalou Law Court. So we are still waiting. But they said that his offense is he was filming without a press pass.
Filming without a press pass.
Yeah.
And that's, okay, let me start with 5 men feels excessive. And they said they're DCI, not regular police officers.
Yeah, they were plainclothes people, so he tried to ask who they are, and they said they're from DCI.
Okay. Melvin, as a lawyer, and I'm asking this as a citizen, is filming without a press pass an offense? I know the IEBC accredits journalists. The Media Council of Kenya also does the same. And Alans is a photojournalist, but did he have accreditation? And would lack of it constitute a criminal offense?
First of all, you have to look at what he was filming, because according to the Election Offences Act, the one that is prohibited by the law is when you're filming at the voting booth, which he wasn't doing. He was outside, just like someone who's trying to vlog. He wasn't filming anything that is prohibited. He wasn't asking anyone who you're voting for or what they're doing there. He was just a Kenyan citizen being there, which is not an offense. So it is not prohibited. If he was at the voting booth or trying to interview voters, then that would be an offense.
Trying to interfere with the privacy of a voter, for example, or the process of voting.
Yes, that would be an offense.
Okay. The fact that he's been in custody since 9 a.m. yesterday, I feel like they could have essentially even brought him to court for this offense yesterday. 9 a.m. was quite early. Have you?
Yes. And that's what we are saying. There were other recourses available. They could have just released him on police bail, or if not, they could have taken him to the court immediately, because again he was the only person who was arrested. Despite everything that happened during the day, he was the only person who was brought to Kalou police station for being arrested until very late, unless they brought people later on at night. But during the day, he was the only person who was brought there.
Okay. Have you spoken to Alans? Is he in good spirits? Is he okay? What's his condition?
He's okay. We've been taking care of him. Also, because he was arrested by plainclothes officers, we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know what to expect. So we had our people who were at the station all through. We made sure he was well fed, he was well clothed. Even at night, we made sure that he was warm enough. And we only left because we couldn't stay overnight. But we already have a team that is headed there, and some of us are also going to court to wait for him.
Okay, just before I hand over to Eric and Felaris, you said they were plainclothed police officers. To the best of your knowledge, did they identify themselves as DCI officers and why they are arresting him, read him his rights, like the proper procedure of making an arrest?
They took Alan's alone in the car, and the others who were with him followed. So it is him who said that those guys said they were from DCI when he tried to ask who they were. But on spot, they didn't identify themselves. They just came and took him away.
Okay.
All right. I think many of the questions that Mariam has asked would be what I would have wanted to know. I just wanted to clarify that he's being presented before court this morning as is expected of the law.
Yes, that's what they said.
Okay. I'm sure we'll be catching up with you later once they take him to court, just to get what the charges would be.
Yeah.
And then what the courts determine on that. I hope it's not one of those again where the police ask for 14 days to hold somebody as they conduct investigations, which is an absolute nonsense by the courts anyway.
Maybe
It
just,
is.
are there others that were arrested alongside Alan's from either different polling stations that are currently in police custody, or is it just Alan's that was arrested from the events of yesterday in Kalou?
It was, to the best of my knowledge, it was only Alan. We are waiting to know whether, because of the violence that occurred last night, whether there are people who were arrested or injured. But so far, we only have information on Alan.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And we'll, of course, continue keeping tabs on the development of this story as we also get updates on the, what the police intend on doing or DCI intend on doing.
Right. I mean, given... Thank you so much, Melvin. Given what we saw yesterday, to say that, you arrested one person for filming without accreditation. Given all that we've seen. And then for me, like, the red flags are also the fact that it was one police officer who came up and said, hey, unafanya nini, akamuuliza, and that ends well. And then now there's 5 DCI officers in plain clothes. It's a massive escalation.
But I have a question. So Alan's yesterday, just before he put out the post on X saying that he's been arrested, he'd put up some pictures on his X account saying all Kalou residents have turned out in large numbers to vote. Note, only those who voted in 2022 have been allowed to vote. The newly registered voters are not allowed to vote as per the IEBC rules. How credible is that? I found myself sitting with that yesterday, just waiting to hear something from the IEBC or any other persons on ground in terms of them not being allowed to vote.
And I think it'd also be a question for him, who does he categorize as newly registered?
Correct.
Because when the IEBC announced the by-election 90 days ago, they said now that's when they close that
the continuous voter registration
for that particular constituency. So anybody who had, for example, registered to vote earlier this year is eligible as long as they're on the register by then. And in fact, even IEBC have said that many times before, that, we close the voters' roll for a constituency or an area that's having a by-election as that time when we announced a by-election is coming. But beyond that, it's fine. So it would be interesting to actually hear maybe from people who would say that I registered as a voter in December
January,
or in January this year, and I went and I was told that I'm not in the register, and I had verified that I'm actually on the voters register for this particular area. That would be something to follow up, and maybe that some our journalists who are still there could say. Daniel Miringa, the People's IEBC founder and creator, is still here with us. And Mariam, you said after this break, you want us to move into
Blockchain.
the blockchain ways of protecting the information here.
Or not even, I'm even going beyond protecting, just conducting elections. And it takes me back to our Shika Mike with Mwalimu John C. W. Mwalimu John C. W., who came and said, my big idea is to conduct elections entirely on blockchain technology. The transparency is unmatched. It would make it much easier. He said there's countries already doing this and referenced Estonia. Was it Estonia? Yes. But how do we... Is that something that sounds realistic to you, Daniel? What do you think of blockchain even for the People's IEBC and for running elections as a whole?
Yeah, maybe before I talk about the blockchain, to just comment on whatever happened to Alan's and the whole scenario about goons and the election. It's so sad because, in 2024 we were looking at this election as a, renaissance for Kenya. It's going to be a 202 moment. But now everyone and their auntie and all the foundations are saying violence is... bound to happen. It's probably going to happen. It's a sad situation, but again, as much as we are urging people to protect their vote with the People's IBC and whatever we are doing, it is also important for other institutions to allow voters to again exercise their rights, their freedom of expression, and just make sure the process is free and fair for all citizens. Again, it's our country, it's our process. We need to own it and trust it.
I think the onus should not be on citizens. It's a fail-safe that shouldn't have to be there. A guardrail that shouldn't. Well, a guardrail always has to be there. Yeah. But there's already guardrails built into the law. So it's like, why are we building a guardrail next to the guardrail?
A guardrail for the guardrail.
A guardrail for the guardrail.
Yeah.
But, go on.
Now about the blockchain, it's something we are implementing some parts of the blockchain in our People's IBC, as much as we did not use it for this dry run. It's again it's a concept that it is aimed at transparency and everything being verifiable for everyone anywhere. So that's the whole concept behind the blockchain and having actually the word blockchain is having a public ledger where anyone can just go and see any transaction that has happened. In this case, any polling station that has submitted results. So the concept is transparency and increasing the transparency and the trust in whatever process you're trying to tokenize, which is the word for putting it in the blockchain. So I think we are getting there. It's again, as we mentioned earlier, that systems are for people and they need to work in tandem with the people. Before we even moved to electronically transmitting results, there was a lot of public participation. A lot of people came on board to discuss, is this something we believe in? Is this something we can do? So it's us, the citizens of Kenya, that need to just sit down and see, is it really time to move towards this next step? But in my honest opinion, I think we are far from that. As much as we are the Silicon Savannah and we are the tech leaders of Kenya, I mean of this part of Africa, we still have a long way to go. There needs to be a lot of stakeholders brought. Waseme, do you trust such a process? What systems do you need to put in place for anyone to,
Yeah, true.
Again, it's because sometimes we overthink, and I will go back into, we listen to the criminals. The presidential aspirants and candidates are the ones I'm referring to as the criminals in this particular case. They're the ones who have an interest, such a high-stake interest in that race, that they want to muddy the waters for everything else. If it was them that were being asked whether we should have M-Pesa, they would have said, that
how will I know the money
that
has
time they're
reached
trying
me?
to see how do I fix myself in this process, right?
How do I
If
get
we trusted
10
that I can
cents?
send money, I can write something and it sends money, and you receive a message and that is money. If we got to trust that across the country,
we can.
What is this thing that I can't trust?
I'm sorry, when you put it like that, it's so wild. It's so wild. It sounds crazy. But you write things and then Then you
I
send-
receive a message and I believe that
You've
is
received the money.
2,000 shillings.
it's actually
The
madness.
value of that message.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We trusted that over time and it picked up. It just shows that, as long as this thing looks credible, it's fine. It's fine. If we reduce our listening to the criminals and we go with what we actually know, our gut and our instinct, that made people turn out. 55% of the voters in Kalou yesterday go and they voted.
Yeah.
And today they have no issue with the result. Even the candidates who are there were like, "Nakubali."
The people have spoken.
It's the same thing. You come and tell me, sasa siko na simu. Siko na kitambulisho. I mean, I trust this ID is my identity. Whatever.
Yeah.
What is identity? Uko nayo, siko na pin kwa simu yako. Do A, B, C, D.
Yeah.
People are borrowing Hustler Fund through their phone.
Yeah. And they're beating.
And they're repaying.
Yeah.
People are buying government bonds through their phones. And they're okay.
Yeah.
You just come and tell me this is how you shall go, you shall do A, B, C, D, and you shall vote, and you sit back, people will trust it. If we just muzzle the criminals,
That is true.
let it be as a people's agenda.
To muzzle the criminals.
There's a fixer here, just on the blockchain. That's Bakari Sagna, saying an aspect of blockchain tech can be employed where IEBC, independent observers, and political players, I guess, have
Parties.
unique parties, have unique crypto keys to the blockchain. However, the election process should be fully digital.
Crypto keys. What's a crypto key?
A crypto key is there are two types of keys, which is there's a public key and then there's a private key. So a private key is what in this the world of cryptocurrency is what gives you access to transact, send it here, send it there.
Okay.
Then the public key is just to identify these customers, so everyone can see this public key received this and this Bitcoin. This public key is this polling station got these and these votes. So yeah, I think having the private key, it's a good idea having private keys just for people we trust, so that no one can send results. Not anyone just can move results from here and there.
So basically, we're saying that the returning officer has the private key.
Yeah.
So-
and the
Yeah.
public has the
And the public has
the
the public key. You can see returning officer X moved results from here to here.
Yeah.
And this is who else interacted with that result thereafter.
Exactly.
And what was the interaction?
Yeah.
The nature of interaction. It opens it up.
It does.
Our constitution actually envisages that we shall move digital. That's why it encourages that you shall use new technology as much as possible, in our electoral process.
Oh, it's in the constitution.
Yes, and even now the law goes ahead into seeing how can we use the new technology. It started off
Okay.
with the server story of transmission. It can get there to that level where tutafanya.
Last one. Nikikwa agent, do I get something to take home? Asking for a friend.
Ukiregister as
On the people's
IEBC
IBC agents. Yes. Do I get Sony?
It's not a guaranteed something home, but yesterday we were able to receive some good donations, so we also sent some to our agents. But when we are onboarding you, there is no promise. There's no promise of reimbursement or whatever. But again, ideally, we'd love to give them a day rate for their service to the country and to protecting democracy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So budget ikieza, we are good.
Yeah.
I hope budget iweze basi.
Amen.
Yeah, hope we actually move away from the budget issue.
No, not
Aki.
Aki.
Yes, the people. Right? It is the people's IEBC. We, the people, are exercising our democratic right and protecting our vote and protecting the sanctity of our decision. It should be voluntary.
It is.
I volunteer to be so and so,
An agent.
and as I volunteer, I'm volunteering my time, my resources. I will use my resources to go to the polling station, including my phone, my fare and Nduthi ama matatu. I will have data, I will post. And that is my civic duty.
That's your contribution.
Because if you start now putting in a team into this thing,
Facilitation.
So I love that word facilitation, because I was going to say,
Story.
you're saying I'm volunteering my time,
Yes.
which is a resource, and my resources. The assumption here is that I have the resources to volunteer. So there's also that factor, which is, and it's for me, it's not paying me like I'm an IEBC agent. It's just making sure I get there and I have a meal and a soda to get my energy up, like something like that.
sikia, kaa kwa nyumbani, enda 7 p.m. kwa polling station, piga picha, rudi home. I mean, it is a simple thing. It is turn up, wameweka kwa mlango, piga picha, tuma, go. So
I disagree, but what actually
because if we start doing that, then we will complicate this whole thing. It starts now becoming, people are scrambling for the job, and how much have people been paid, and so on and so forth. And it just
Takes
becomes
away from the-
takes away from what we are trying to say. This is our thing that we are doing. A political party and candidates, some agents pay. I mean, some candidates pay their agents, some don't. There's some agents who just volunteer. I'm volunteering into this campaign for this. And this particular one, if it's a people's thing, me, I'd say, let's keep it as far away from all those. We have seen what money does to our election processes. And if we introduce money into this particular one, we may now start spoiling a very good thing that could just be, I did it, I sent it, I went back home, I volunteered, nilitumia data yangu.
And make peace with it.
mi nasema tu yani
Kakitu kadogo.
lunch na fare, just not enough to make it a financial
Incentive.
Lunch
Nika facilitation.
Lunch is financial
Facilitate.
incentive.
Yes, but I mean,
Ushinde hapo.
tuachie hapo.
Wewe enda piga picha, rudi home.
Daniel, don't listen. Okay, you can listen to both sides, but don't worry, the debate will continue.
Yeah.
Okay, the call for patriotism and zero expectations in terms of remuneration. Wewe, wacha Mariam. Okay, sawa, nimeacha. Janka Njogu agrees, I don't need to be funded to exercise my civic right. Ask what you can do for the nation and not what the nation can do for you. Quote of the hour. Okay. Ongao Edwin, the weakest link in any technology is the human factor. The problem between what the system displays versus what I announce. The law says that the chair of the IEBC announced the results, not the system. We've talked about the human factor. Let's end it there. But thank you so much, Daniel.
Asante.
I know, that last one, fikiria too. I know thoughts are many. But of
Fanya
course,
public participation.
let's get into the next hour. We'll take a really short break, but when we come back, we'll be speaking to the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, and we'll be
The
Kenya National Commission on Human Rights. Sorry, nimerudi backwards yesterday. Yes, we'll be talking to the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights. Let's talk about the legalities and the illegalities around Kalou. What's happening? What's not happening? What needs to be happening, especially as governance is concerned. We'll be right back after this.